If you are looking for the perfect week in one of the most beautiful beach towns in the world, Manuel, Antonio, Costa Rica, then I have the itinerary for you. Let's go on some side quests. Okay, so to start out my perfect week in Manuel Antonio, I feel like I've got to visit its namesake national park, Manuel Antonio National Park. Now it has incredible beaches, amazing wildlife, sloths, monkeys, hermit crabs, all of the kinds of things that you would want to see when you come and visit Costa Rica. And you can hire guides at the door, or you can book them in advance, that carry around these high-powered telescopes that get kind of an up-close and personal view of all of the different wildlife, which is really incredible. Once you're done with your tour, mine was about 2 hours, you can go to the beach, hang out, get a tan. So now I think I'm going to head into the town, grab a little bit of a snack, and see what sort of trouble we can get into there. So yesterday after I got done in Manuel Antonio National Park, I headed to the public beach in Manuel Antonio and hung out there for like 2 hours, talked on the phone with my family, enjoyed the ocean, had a snack. It was delightful. And then I headed back to Quepos and went into their Christmas market that they have going on there. It was like a dance night, which was delightful. And then I also grabbed a drink at a bar and watched the Costa Rican football team crush it. So it was a great night. Finished out the night with dinner with my host family and read a book and went to bed. I was exhausted. Now I'm going to spend Monday through Friday of this week in the morning at a Spanish language school here, and I'm super excited about it. You know, I just kind of want to brush up on my skills, get some immersion, learn some new phrases that I can use out and about as I go and tour the rest of the day. And one benefit of the language school is that it has a pool. Like, look at that. How awesome is that? Look at this sunset. If you haven't picked up on like the vibe of my travel style, basically I like a type A morning, and then like a type B unplanned side questy afternoon. So for example, today I went to language school and it was great, and I got to learn some Spanish rhetoric. And then I got a suggestion to go to this place called Cafe Monarca, and so I went to the pool after language school, worked on my tan for like an hour. Then I went to this cafe, which I never would have gone to because it's like in these like backwoods of Costa Rica, off the beaten path. And it's like a zipline park inside of a zoo, and inside of that there's a butterfly house with a cafe inside. And this cafe was amazing. First of all, very reasonably priced. Second of all, amazing smoothies. And third of all, the warmest, flakiest, butteriest croissant I've literally ever had. It was like drizzly, and I read my book, and it was just perfect. Then after that, I walked around for a while. I went to a soda and grabbed a meal, and then I went to the local pickleball club here in Quepos that came at also the suggestion of someone at the language school last week. So yeah, that was magical and delightful, and truly the perfect way to spend a day in Quepos and Manuel Antonio. I spent today at this little cafe restaurant bar called El Avion, which means the airplane, and it was sick. So basically it goes back to Cold War history when the Reagan administration was selling arms to Iran and then using the money to fund the Contra government in Nicaragua. A Fairchild 132 or 123, someone correct me on the name of the plane, crashed in Nicaragua and unveiled the entire scandal. One of those airplanes, the twin airplane of the one that crashed, got stuffed in a warehouse in San Jose, and they brought it here to Manuel Antonio and built a bar in it inside of it, essentially, so you could like crawl in it and visit it and stuff. And the food is like fairly expensive, like your sort of standard tourist restaurant pricing, but there's a cafe attached to it. You could get like a cappuccino or a croissant and enjoy the most spectacular view I have ever seen. Definitely highly recommend going there. Absolutely made my day. I spent like 2 hours there reading my book, enjoying the coffee. It was perfect. Before I went to the cafe, I went to this place called Playa La Mancha, which is a beach here that's just absolutely gorgeous, stunning. There are like 7 beaches scattered around the coast between Quepos and Manuel Antonio, and some of them you have to hike to, and Playa La Mancha is definitely one of those. It's about a 30-minute hike from the language school, but the language school teachers will teach you there, and it's a blast. Today was a great day. Just got done with a very fun, spirited game of trivia. We lost by 1 point, but honestly, I think we were robbed by a point. So we're winners in my book, or at least tiers, I don't know. But besides that, I hung out by the pool for a long time, got some work done. I also ran around and did like a little bit of Christmas shopping, and I'll like go through and show maybe some of what I got. just like food and magnets and things like that for my family for like stocking stuffers. So very excited about that. And tomorrow's my last day here. I can't believe it. It flew by. So I don't know, we'll see what kind of action and adventure we discover. Okay, here is my souvenir stocking stuffer haul. So the first thing I got, of course, are postcards. And I had to get a cappuccino monkey postcard in honor of our tour guide telling us that they were pretty much evil at the national park. I'll show that video now. But then I also got these chocolates, which are just, it's hard to find like whatever a true genuine Costa Rica chocolate is. I don't know what that is, but I got chocolate and it says Costa Rica on it, and I think it'll make my family happy. But I also got these dehydrated pineapple bits covered in chocolate, which once again, I don't know if they're like authentic, but the packaging is all in Spanish, which I think adds like a little bit of flair and fun to, you know, the experience. Then the dollar bills here in Costa Rica are literally works of art. And so I got these magnets that like have the art on them. And I got like different forms of currency, and they're just really cool, like high quality, like tough magnets that I think my family and friends will like. So that's the souvenir haul. I'm not really one to vlog when I'm in the bathroom, but look at this view. And like, you don't need blinds. Here's what it looks like if you're sitting on the toilet. Today was a very fun day. After language school, I went to a place called Cafe Elliot, which had a beautiful view overlooking the ocean. I got banana bread and cappuccino and read my book. And I also got sat next to a few folks who were on my trivia team from last night, and so that was fun because I got to chat with them for a while. And then I got so lost in my book that I lost track of time, and so I ran on over to the bus and headed down to the agriculture fair, checked out the farmer's market, tried a bunch of different fruits and vegetables and local things, and some of the teachers from the language school showed me around, which was amazing. And now I'm back on the beach in Manuel, ending my final day here in Costa Rica with an absolutely stunning sunset. And yeah, I'm kind of sad to leave, honestly. It was a great experience. It was fun to learn Spanish. It was fun to go on different adventures. It was fun to meet people and then see them around town over the course of the weeks, but definitely gonna have to come back someday. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our Costa Rican adventure. I hope you had fun following along. I had an absolute blast being here, going to language school, learned a lot, loved all of the side quests, and I'll see you next time wherever that adventure may be. Bye.